Diego. Oh, and his front wheel gets taken out from under him.
I didn't expect that. Wow, look at that. Down like a sack of potatoes there.
What a hell of a soundbite. Welcome to Title 24, presented by NBC Sports. Myself, Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Villopoto, coming to you every Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. For the ones who were at Snapdragon Stadium, hopefully enjoyed the race. There was some good racing. I don't know if it was quite as exciting as A1 goes, but still a lot to be thankful for. Before we get going, thank our partners. As always, United Motorsports, Quadlock, Boxo, Dunlop, and Cardo. We appreciate all of you guys. Quick little recap on the weekend. Dude, I don't know if you're watching it, RV, but major bummer for Brabec. So Brabec and the Dakar Rally. Sorry about that. I'm sick today. You guys can hear me. Dude, he was in the lead from what I gather. And with about 2K to go, I'm not sure if he went the wrong way or what happened, but dude, he lost it by the young buck at the Red Bull KTM team. Hate it. Just 2 seconds he lost that race by. Can you imagine racing for 2 weeks, dude, and you'll lose it by 2 seconds? That's such a gut punch, man. Oh
yeah, it is. I did get to see know, on Peacock. It was awesome. I actually loved the broadcast that they had of the Dakar. Really cool to see the ins and outs of it and a lot of the camera footage. But yes, I was following, saw that also on Instagram that he was leading and then ended up losing it by 2 seconds. Man, that's an incredibly hard race. And to go down to the end like that, I think I read that he just got a little off course and that cost him time. Man, that's it's a bummer for the American, that's for sure.
It is.
Got to be a massive. I mean, got to be. It is a massive heartbreaker for him. That's for sure.
I was asking JH on the way home, like, dude, and I want to ask you this, RV, like, if you were winning and you lost by 2 seconds, would you rather get second and lose by 2 seconds or just get dead last?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't even answer that question. I'm sure the check still cashes okay in second, but to run it to the end like that and just to make a miscalculation.
With 2K to go, dude.
Yep.
That's almost less than a mile.
Yeah. And I think that's part of why that race is so tough, right? 2Ks from the finish line, he still got, miscalculated it and lost, right? So it shows you how intense, how mentally, strong and how well you have to think on the motorcycle after 2 weeks running into the finish line like that. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. Hang in there, Ricky. Also a great effort by Chucky Sanders. He was a leader of the Dakar Rally for a while on the two-wheel side of things, and then he had a gnarly crash. Major props to Brabec for stopping and helping Chucky on that stage, but heartbreak for both of those guys. That guy that won it, though, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think seems like he's got some skill, and he's young. So anyhow, before we get into the United Motorsports moment of the week, we were talking before we went on air. Everybody send some thoughts out to little Brax Villopoto, man. Bring us up to speed. You weren't at the race. Tell us why and what the heck happened and what's going on.
Yeah, we went out riding on Friday. Went out to Paula Friday, and we were out for our second session, and little man went down and broke his the main bone in your arm, your wrist, the ulna. So had to deal with that all weekend. Friday night was really rough on him. But yeah, he seems to be good. He was good Saturday, a lot better Saturday, a lot better Sunday. So today we're going to go get a checkup, see if we need to do anything more to it. I'm kind of leaning towards that. We're probably going to have to straighten it a little bit more. Not the worst injury. I guess it's not a great one for your very first broken bone.
Yeah.
But all the less, it's all part of the sport. We know it. It's definitely, it hits a little bit different when it's your own kid, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine, dude. Well, hopefully everything goes better than expected. at Kramer's. We're thinking about him. Hang in there, Brax. Well, United Motorsports moment of the week for me, RV, and I think a lot of people. It's definitely got to be Eli Tomac wins again. It was narrow, a lot narrower than the opening round at Anaheim, as you know. But a good fan question that someone asked is the original, the _original _JR _264. What are the odds, excuse me, if Tomac continues winning? Can he pass McGrath's win streak? And RV, from where you're sitting, were you surprised at what you saw from RV or Eli overall? And do you think that there's a chance that he could catch MC's win record?
I think I saw he's at 55, correct? I think he's at 55 wins now.
That's right.
MC 72. I mean, there's look, you could go for a perfect season if you want to call it that, right? You get as many wins as you can. I think what's more impressive, I mean, that's a good question. I think to for this season alone, for him to go out and bridge that gap to MC, I think that's a long shot. Not to say it couldn't be done or get right within it, a couple wins within it. But I think what's more impressive for me sitting on the couch as a fan and as watching it Saturday night was, I said it after Anaheim won, how comfortable Eli looks on the Red Bull KTM, and watching interviews and his post race, and man, I think things are gelling. I don't know if I've seen him in it. To me, it doesn't seem like he has very much pressure at all. Like when I see him talk, when I see him, you race the motorcycle. As we all know, he's under immensely amount of pressure being in the position that he's in, but I think he's having a ton of fun while he's racing, more fun than he has in the past. And I think he's gelling so well with that motorcycle. Like you said, it was a closer finish this weekend. Hunter actually closed down that gap towards the end, and I thought he was going to potentially make a run on Eli. So that was encouraging to see from Hunter's ride. But man, I mean, I think Eli's just in a great position. If he can get there, great. I don't know if that's on his mind. It's not on my mind necessarily. I think to see him, if he can win this Supercross championship, I think that right there is I would say better than winning or making it to 72. Just to switch teams like he did and go to a complete different manufacturer, completely different style of motorcycle, and to have the success he's had right out of the gate of these first two rounds. On two different completely tracks. Anaheim was a lot more slippery. San Diego had a bit more tacky, a little more sticky. So the bike's working. It's working for him, and man, he looks phenomenal.
Dude, he does. I think I'm with you. I would rather take the championship. You and I are cut from the same cloth on that. I mean, let's see here. So he's 12. No, he'd be 17 wins away, something like that. It's I don't know. I honestly, it just depends on the field. If he gets hot and he breaks off another 5 to 7 wins this year, which is possible based upon what I've seen so far from the eye test. I do suspect that some guys are going to get better. I was having a conversation, RV, and I'm going off script here, with someone over the weekend. And it almost looked like he's mid-season form. And I wonder if other guys are going to elevate their bike setup and where they're at with how comfortable they are. And are they going to close that gap, right? And I don't know how much better that Eli can get. He looks perfect. So I'm just wondering. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think other guys are going to start to challenge him a little bit more. Their bikes are going to get better. They have to, or otherwise he's going to win every race. So do you sense that for him, or no? Do you feel like other guys are going to raise the bar or at least close in the gap?
Man, like you said, I think everybody should improve themselves plus their motorcycle. And we're talking little by little, and that could close that gap. but you're still going to have to deal with a veteran like Eli in his position and as many gate drops as he's had. And yes, if you can bridge the gap on speed on the weekend, you still have to bridge that gap mentally and at the racer that Eli is too. So I don't think Eli is going to just run away with every single win. But as we've already seen, guys that we had kind of expected to be up front maybe haven't been. Eli starting off the openers like he has, I think that's scary for some of these other guys, because typically that we've seen in the past, Eli hits kind of mid form or his best form mid season, and he's coming out swinging. So you got to figure that Eli's going to get better too. They're going to figure out a couple more little tricks of the trade throughout the season. The bike should get better. He should get better, along with everybody else, but he's already got the upper hand at this point. So that's what's going to be interesting to see. Obviously it's a long season. Like we talk about every single show, staying healthy, minimizing the mistakes. And that's where Eli's so good at, is because of his, as long as he's been out as in this sport as a racer.
Yeah, I think just to close it, put a button on this for our great fan question. That was awesome question, by the way, original JR. If Chase works out his bugs, he's got, I guess if you're going to bet on a man who can go the fastest that is lining up in the series right now, you'd want to put some money. It'd be a safe bet to put it on Chase for the fastest raw speed lap. And then, of course, Chet. And if those guys, for Jet's instance, if he gets injured and he misses these championship series like he is, like Supercross, this is a wash. Last year was a wash. And Sexton continues to struggle, and Eli wants to race another 2 years. Those are the guys that are going to beat him by speed over and over and over if they can stay healthy. Until they can put in multiple years of being there, say like you were, RV, like I was, like MC was, Eli's going to keep winning. Especially if they're not there, who else is going to beat them, right?
Yeah, and RC, my question, I look back at what if this season goes, call it somewhat uneventful for Eli, and he keeps winning or wins, a handful more of races, ends up with the championship, and he looks back at the end of the season and be like, man, that was fun, and that was also fairly call it easy. Does he race another year? Does he race another 2 years? That's a crazy thing to think at his age. And it's not like it's old, but it's old compared to me and you, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, listen, before, and we're going to stop this, but I mean, I probably would have kept racing a few more years, but I'm like, Reedy's too good. Stu is figuring it out. He was getting better and better as far as working out his kinks. He was getting more reliable. And I'm like, I'm not willing to take that risk anymore. And he's going to just, I'm going to get out talented and he's faster than me. And I'm just, my time has come. And again, I think Eli's in a similar situation until those guys can figure it out and put full seasons together back to back. So it'll be fun to watch. Before we go to the Boxo breakdown, if you haven't, go to unitedmotorsports.com/title24, enter your email, get a $15 credit towards your first order. Then you'll automatically be entered into the weekly drawing for a $50 credit on your next order. Switching gears, RV, let's go down to the, Boxo breakdown and kind of chew into this 450 main event. The start and Sexton hitting the gate. He did the same thing in Detroit last year. From the side view, it looked like Prado had flinched and he kind of took the bait. I said it on the broadcast. From the head on, you really couldn't see it. We tried to do a replay, but from that, did you see just how he flinched a little bit, Prado, like his helmet and stuff like that? Not sure if that was by design, and Sexton saw that, but take it away, brother. Everybody heard my spiel over the weekend. Where you at with it?
Yeah, just another bummer weekend. I mean, I think Chase rode better as a whole after the getting stuck in the gate. You can see Prado, his body flinches, but the motorcycle doesn't. What I thought was really interesting is when Chase he rolled to the gate, and anticipated it dropping if that was Prado flinching. But man, I hate to be sitting in this position to call this, but it's I guess the word is unacceptable at this point. Making those types of mistakes that's in his position, right? He hit the gate when he was at Red Bull KTM. He hit the gate again. That was 2025 Detroit when he hit the gate. Very, 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 very similar situation. Man, you can't give up those points. We've said it 1,000 times on this show. How do you rebound? How do you come back and put yourself in a championship position? With racing against the guys that you are racing against that are so consistent, that are so good, guys like Eli, guys like Hunter, Kenny, I mean, the whole field, right? So it's a tough position to be in. I think from the positive side from Chase, I thought he looked better on the motorcycle. I thought the bike looked better.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, man, you need to leave everything at the truck, leave everything that you've, dealt with and the struggles that you've had and just go race your motorcycle. I mean, that's easy to sit here and say. But you got to wonder what the team's thinking, what he's thinking, because it is a stupid mistake.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. And again, we've talked about it here on this podcast. I mean, we want Chase to be perfect and we want him to, at least rise up to his ability. Yeah. And he owned it. Great for him. I'm with you. I thought he looked a little bit better on his bike. I heard that he had made some changes and that he was riding similar settings to Kitchen. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is. I'm just passing the trash at this stage, but nevertheless, you know what? At one stage of that race, RV, he was making up a lot of ground early, and maybe he shot his shot too early, getting through all of the pack to get to P4. But I thought, honestly, for a second, I thought he was going to catch Kenny and those guys. I really did.
You're correct. I was watching the broadcast, obviously, from my couch, and I think it was around that 8 to 10 minute mark. He had made up some massive track time on those guys, and I thought the same thing. If he was going to be able to bridge the gap up to those guys, podium position is what I was. I mean, look, he was one position off a podium with a fourth, starting dead last. So the speed's there. We've never questioned the speed with Chase. I think they're still working through some bugs, new team, new bike. But Chase needs to, he needs to rebound coming into next weekend, into A2. But RC, we have a fan question. Hunter Lawrence, Michael, French. Do you think people underestimate Hunter Lawrence?
I think that a lot of people do. It's easy for them guys to, it's easy for people to underestimate Hunter, right? I mean, let's be honest, his brother casts a massive shadow. But at the same time, if you really look at Hunter and just how well he's done overall, and we talked about it and how we think his mindset really fits the 450 class a little bit better than possibly the 250. He had a rough go at it in the 250. If you talk about from the inception of his Supercross motocross career here in the States, he had a rough go. He continued to get better and better and found his spot, was a divisional champ. He's always contested for SMX playoff world championship championships. He's done a great job there. So I haven't really underestimated him, but I do think a lot of people do, just because I know he just gets off to a slow start. And again, I like his demeanor for the 450. He's very even keel. He's very, I say pragmatic, which he is. He rides within his zone. Does he lack a little bit of intensity early on? Of course. Do you need that against guys like Kenny? 120%. Or guys like Chase? For sure. I personally feel like that's one of the hardest areas to improve is that raw, gnarly intensity speed early on in the race. At least it was for me, because if I went too hard too early, then, I would get tight and then eventually end up losing time later in the race. So it's basically how you control all of that, I feel like. And I think a lot of people underestimate him, but I wouldn't at this stage. He did great at the beginning of the race. He stuck right there with Kenny and Eli once he got past, and of course, he almost passed into the lead on the last lap. So I think he's here. I think he's here to stay. You've talked about it here on the podcast, RV. The guy gets great starts, and if he's this good this early on, I mean, you have to take notice. In my opinion, I think that they do discredit him a little bit, or discount him. To your point, Michael French, without a doubt. Do you feel the same, RV?
Yeah, no, I think that man, from halfway mark of that main event, he had a pretty intense battle with Kenny, and he made his way through Kenny. But man, then I would say from that I'd say with about 7 minutes to go, man, he was really laying down the lap times and laying down the laps that he was able to bridge that gap. Maybe Eli made a couple mistakes, whatever the case may be, but he was coming to the front, and he would bridge that gap to Eli and got right to him. So that was what was impressive out of Hunter for A2. I think guys do sleep on him a little bit. Biggest thing with Hunter is being there every single weekend with that consistency. But I thought he rode good. Another question, RC. Roxon, 31 years old, Tomac, 33 years old, still killing it in their 30s. Do you think we could have been racing into our 30s?
No, I don't think so. I was cooked, dude. It's different. You've said it multiple times that you're kind of envious of these dudes and how they just embrace it. Another conversation I had with somebody, actually Clinton Fowler, asked me when we were watching practice and we were just complimenting guys like Kenny and Eli going into their 30s, and a lot of the guys, Max Anstie, not just Eli and Kenny, but it's just I feel like it's just a different mindset, like for you and I, and how it was back then, and even like for guys like Dungey, we get in there, we win, and we get the hell out of there. And winning was everything, and anything less than winning, we weren't happy with, and it was unacceptable. And I know that it was that way for you, and it damn sure was that way for me. I wasn't going to hang around just, not wanting to win and just being acceptant of second, if I knew I didn't have a fighting chance to win the championship. I think it's great. I love seeing it. But I don't think I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know either. I think the mentality is a little bit different from just the way I was, maybe me personally brought up, maybe you personally brought up, of kind of get in, get out type mentality. And I think now, guys are trying to have more fun. I think they learned from us, actually. I think that they saw the way we treated it middle of our careers into the very later part of our careers, and trying to have more fun with it. Be there for the championships, but don't have to necessarily win every single race.
Yeah. 100%. Hey, Hector, when you can you roll that soundbite from Malcolm Stewart? Massive shout out to him. Glad also, Barsha, you're doing well. Can't wait to get you back. Hopefully your recovery is coming well. But Malcolm shared a little bit about popping out a rib. Roll that sound, Hector.
The heat race, I was hurting pretty bad, like my shoulder and stuff. My arms start kind of going numb, and then I'm like, all right, so Dr. G came in here and just taped me up. I also hurt my ribs. I popped my rib out, and I was like, dude, just tape me up and try to take my shoulder up, and we'll see what we can do. And that main event was probably the longest 20 minutes of my life. my hands started going numb. Pain just started kicking in, but we were able to salvage a 10th, and that's pretty freaking sweet for me.
There you go. A hell of a job, Mal. Thanks for the soundbite and the insight, dude. You are one tough dude. I mean, I thought, all things considered, I was just for him to go out there and put in that run. That was good, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a very, very tough situation to be in. You know, Eldon popped over to my house on Wednesday, got to see the boys ride a little bit. We hung out for quite a while, and, you know, asked him obviously how Mookie was doing. And he said they were going to get out at least to the test track one time to you know, feel it out, right? To see if he was able or capable of riding the motorcycle. So obviously he was, and to put on a performance like that, to be in the top 10 in that 450 class after popping shoulder out, you know, cracked rib, all those different things that he's dealing with, you know, just to think about, you know, it shows you how tough, how gnarly these guys are. I know you've been in that position. I have too. Pretty much everybody that has been at that top level has had to ride through some type of injury and different levels of injuries. But, you know, the seat bouncing, the G outs that these guys, that the G's they take through the motorcycle into their body when you're not 100% is so tough. So to salvage round two, like Malcolm did, is and for the long haul, right? He knows that it's a, you know, 17 race series, and if he gives up, you know, a weekend here or there, you know, it really puts him in a bad position, right? So to go out and salvage those points in 10th, that's a hell of a weekend after Anaheim 1's you know, crash.
Any before we roll the points, the 450 points, any other notables on the 450 class? I mean, the first one I can think of is Coop. I think that something majorly is happening there on that front. I'm not sure how healthy he was this week. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe there was an underlying issue that he wasn't being forthcoming about, because I think we all know that he's a little bit better. But I just wonder about the motorcycle and, you know, where he's at. As far from my notable, I know I asked you, is there any notables? That's my notable. I need to see a massive turnaround for the defending champ.
And who was that with, RC? Sorry, you broke up.
Cooper.
No, yeah, right. So I think you know, Coop's never been. We've talked. You know, I say it all the time, but you know, he doesn't start the season off obviously as you know, super you know, I guess crushing it right out of the gate, right? He's the guy that comes on mid-season, but I think that he's going to have to get up to speed quicker, or, you know, start rattling off those, racing up front with those guys, because I think before he notices it, or before he can get a hold of it, with a guy like Eli winning the opener plus round two, you know, the horse race is going to get away from him. You're right. So, but we know that Coop has done this in the past, right? So I heard he's going back to Florida. That I thought the plan was, or I heard the plan was, to stay here on the West Coast, but they're going to get him back to the East Coast, back to the farm back there, and get him riding, you know, back east, and then he'll fly back out this way. But yeah, it's you know, I'm sure he's not stoked with his first two rounds.
Yeah, no doubt. Hector put up the 450 points. I just want to ask your opinion, RV. I know it's still early, but when you look at these points, RV, and I know it's only 2 races, but Eli Tomac, perfect, 2 wins, 50 points. Kenny's second, 8 points back. But look at fourth. Chase is 18, and Coop is 21. And I just go back to my days of racing, and probably your days of racing, dude. I would be doing jumping jacks if I had 18 points and 21 points over these competitors, dude. Like, where are you at with the points and where they sit currently?
RC, I'll for sure. If I'm Eli right now, and I'm looking at this, the way the points are sitting currently right now, one of your main competitors, Cooper Webb, past champion of last year, sitting 21 points down. That's something to hang your hat on for sure. And look and being in that position only 2 rounds in, coming into our 3rd round. That's a hole that Coop's going to have to dig himself out in. As we know, and as we've seen, anything can happen with our racing. Eli, 1 race away or a few laps away from winning his championship, boom, an Achilles, right? So we've seen all the ups and downs that this sport can throw at these guys. But dude, coming into round 3, if I'm Eli, I'm like, dude, this is I'm sitting in an awesome position. He's almost, give it a few more races, he'll be able to really have control. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's really going to have control, and he's going to be able to manage his races and his off nights with a lot less stress if he shows up and having an off night, or maybe the bike's not working as well as he would like it at one of these races. So he can't be in a better position than Eli right now.
Oh, dude, he's smoking. That's for sure. We're going to go to a break real quick, but when we come back, everybody, we're going to break down the Haiden Deegan win, first win of the season for him. A little bit of controversy there. Talk about 250s, all that little bit, but we'll be right back with you here shortly. Welcome back to Title 24, presented by NBC Sports. Myself and Ryan Villopoto coming to you. Get to cracking here for our Dunlop debate section of the show. Once again, everyone's talking about Deegan, and straight into it from a fan question for you, RV. Spike Dog 315. Should everyone stop criticism and appreciate the skill? What do you think,
Yeah.
Dog?
So that is on, Spike Dog 315. Should everybody stop the criticism and appreciate the skill? I mean, look, man. Haiden rode with, we're talking about Haiden, but he rode well. He rode phenomenal. Got his first win of the season. Look, I think if I'm the team owner there, sure. I mean, I don't think I would be stoked with this move. I know that Max is, the points leader. He left the door open, you could call it. I think you can't give Haiden an inch. It doesn't matter if he's your teammate or if he's your competitor. No matter how you slice it, he's going to race you. He's going to race you close, and he's going to race you hard. Do I think that was necessarily called for in round 2? I don't know. That's kind of where I sit on it. If this is last round championship points going into, they're both, winner kind of takes all of the last race for the championship, then anything goes. I don't know. I think it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible at all. It was full racing. I'm cool with that. I just think, being that it's your teammate, if I was sitting in Mitch's shoes or Bobby Reagan's shoes, like, I wouldn't be stoked on that, because I want 2 horses in the race if I'm star racing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
that's fair.
As a
totally.
team, like, I want 2 horses in the race regardless. If it comes down to the last race or second to last race and points are close and that were to happen, okay, then it is what it is. But I think this early on in the season, star racing, looking at it from a 10,000 foot view, I want 2 horses in that race in case something happens with, say, Haiden, or vice versa with Max.
Yeah. Another fan question. T. Mitch, 1992. Can you compare the pass Deegan made on Anstie to the pass Sexton made on Webb? And I kind of tiptoed around it, RV, as far as what I thought was right or wrong. Did I agree with it? I mean, I guess I should say I didn't have strong feelings, but listen, Chase went up. He used up all the real estate, and Coop knew what was going to happen. I don't think he anticipated Chase to be right there, but there was really nowhere else for Coop to go other than to the top of that berm. So he could have tried his hardest to maybe lean up to the left, but then as we're watching right here for people just listening or watching the replay. The reason that I didn't have strong feelings about the Haiden situation and the Max situation is because, I mean, I this is what I think. I think that, and I watch Haiden at times. He slides his rear end in practice to turn down tighter. He doesn't always bowl it. There wasn't a lot of ruts in that corner. It was loose on the bottom, you know. So you could argue that he was just trying to tighten up the apex of the corner. I think that for him to slide the tire like that and get it perfectly into Anstie's front wheel and front fork guard, brake guard would be tough. If that was on purpose, that execution was perfect. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that he did it on purpose. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm just saying, like, he has slid the rear tire to make a tighter apex. Does it suck, like you said, from a team standpoint, a team ownership standpoint, that Max went down? Absolutely. I just, for that particular situation, I just didn't have strong enough feelings because, you know, he could have easily done it on purpose. He could easily not. You know, I could make a fair point to say, you know, he was just sliding the tire to, again, tighten up that apex. If it wasn't Deegan, no one would be saying, I do feel strong about this. If it wasn't Deegan and someone slid their tire to make a tighter apex, I don't think it would be such a hot topic. That's what I think. I think it's subjective to who it was, sadly.
Yep, RC. And I think what you're looking back at that replay, the turn before, the 90 before, Max actually went wide right here. See right there, he gave up a lot of time right there. And then he only had to go double. So looking at it, he should have just let Haiden totally take the main line, stay away from him, and try to execute a pass later in the race after that. But he didn't go in there super fast. I see that, you know, he comes in. I just think he should have waited waited longer to give himself a little more space, just because we know that you know, Hayden's he's not going to give you an inch. He's not going to give you an inch.
No, 100%. Everything else, hey, great job by Moseman. Moseman did great. McAdoo, hell of a job for McAdoo. Great to see him up there, man. When you think about Cameron and what he's done and his journey, always fun to see him up there. There's no doubt about that. Getting closer to the goal, he said. That's it, really, for the 250 in the Dunlop debate section of the show. I think that a lot of racing left. It'll be interesting to see how this week goes with Anstie and Deegan and all that fun stuff. I think that they'll move on. Basically, from what I've heard from both sides, it is what it is. I think I saw a sound bite or heard that Max was like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, whatever." So anyhow, my feelings on that move wasn't strong enough. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got the quad lock question of the week. So we're back with you shortly. Welcome back, Title 24, presented by NBC Sports. Thanks for joining myself and Ryan Villopoto today for our weekly podcast, a little breakdown of San Diego Supercross, Snapdragon Stadium, round 2 of the Monster Energy SMX World Championship and Monster Energy Supercross Championship as well. The call from Cardo. Check out Cardo. They got incredible comms, great for coaching, riding, all that fun stuff. All right, RV. So if you could have, if you could have the ear of anyone in the 250 of 450 field, who would it be, and what advice would you have for them? So you would have the ear of a 250 guy and a 450 guy. What kind of advice would you give them, and who would that be?
RC, at this point, just going off of the 2 rounds that we've seen, Anaheim 1, San Diego round 2, I'm going to have to go with, for the 250 class, if I could have anybody's ear, and this is a little bit of a tough question to answer, only because I'm not working with these guys, on a daily basis. And when you really work with somebody on a daily basis, you really find the ins and outs and their chinks in the armor, and where they can be better at, and how, or if you can help them along the way. So 250 class, I would say Levi Kitchen. I'd love to see, I want to see Levi do better, but, we've seen Anaheim 1, San Diego, hasn't been the performances that he's liked, or I should say the opening laps that he's wanted. He's put himself, he was on the ground, at San Diego in the first turn. Same thing with Anaheim 2. So really trying to figure out why and where can he improve, and along with Chase Sexton in the 450 class, right? Those are these guys that I'm talking about, Levi and Chase. I expect them to not make those mistakes in their position. I think Chase, as we've seen, is one of the most talented riders out there. Speed is there. We're watching a practice incident right here with Chase at San Diego. I look at that like, dude, were you looking at the pit board too long, or were you looking down? That guy was there. He didn't pop up out of nowhere. Could have easily avoided that by going to the inside. And then we watch him hit the gate in the 450 or in the 450 main event. Right. So, to tell you guys, or to tell the fans that are listening and watching, do I have a fix sitting right here in my position right now on my couch? I don't have a fix, because I don't work with them day in and day out. So it's very tough. I mean, I could sit here and say, and be a keyboard warrior and say, he needs to do this and he needs to do that, and we should do it like this, and have all these different opinions. But those two guys right there, from where I sit right now, definitely, I think that I'm not saying I could, or you could, or anybody else, but if you're asking me, who would I like to have the ear of? I think those two potentially need it. And yeah. I'm not saying me, but I don't even necessarily want that position. It's hard to get my own kids to do what I want them, to educate them.
Let's be honest, like your kids are going to listen to someone else before they're going to listen to you, which you're a bad dude. They should be listening to you first. I'm with you. I don't need to expand on the advice that you would, if you were working with those guys on the daily. I think that you could get them turned around for sure. Just with your mindset and your knowledge in the sport and your accomplishments. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's it for Cardo. Great stuff there, RV. Quad lock question of the week. If you haven't, head over to quadlockcase.com. Great stuff. Yeah, whether you need mounts for your motorcycle, adventure bike, side-by-sides, cars, office. Hell, I got a desk mount right here. It's good stuff. They got little portable chargers as well. If you're on the slopes, I had to use mine last week in Breckenridge. RV, you need to ask this question. This is for me.
I'll take this. I'll take this away. Quad lock question of the week. J_Ray_36. Ricky, as a past team owner, do you appreciate inner team conflict, and how do you manage the emotions going forward?
Inner team conflict. First and foremost, I think if I was a team owner again, or a co-team owner, I think that you need to give leeway, at least throughout the regular season, to your teammates, maybe more than you would another rider on the track. Keep that team camaraderie. At the end of the day, all floating boats is what you want. You don't want any sinking ships. So that's where I'm at with it. Make love, not war, and keep everybody happy. You know what I'm saying? We're working together as a group. I'm not sure how much inner conflict is going on. I mean, if you're asking me about Haiden and what it's like to be his teammate, and you're specifically asking in reference to what happened this weekend, and maybe last year with Davies, listen, everybody that rides for Star on the 250 team and even the 450 team know how Haiden rides. They know his mannerisms, and they signed up for that race team, and they knew that he was going to be his teammate. Again, and I repeat myself, they raced with him, they know him. So at some stage, and I saw David Bielman kind of said the same thing, you know what he's going to do. Again, I don't have strong feelings on what happened this weekend. I think you could make an argument for that it wasn't intentional, but yeah, I think again, as a team owner, you make it known to everyone on the team to give your teammates a little bit of grace, and we're here to make sure that everyone's happy. In a championship situation, I think if you make it down to the last race, one of you guys are winning. So don't take both of you don't take both of you out, because we want to get a win for the team first and foremost, our sponsors, our manufacturer. So I think that that's part of it, managing all that fun stuff. And I think if you let it be known right at the top with all these riders, then it's less homework and less cleanup that you have to do moving forward. And that's kind of where I'm at. Great question, by the way, Jay Ray. Congratulations on the quad lock. I mean, I think when you let it known what you are going to accept as a team owner and what's not acceptable on the front end, you avoid a lot of controversy later on down the stretch. And that's where I sit with it, and let it be known early so you don't have to do housekeeping later on down the road. And if you need to nip it in the bud, they already know what the guidelines are. And if you break those guidelines, you got to go to the principal's office. That's what I think. You feel the same?
Yeah. No, I do. I think that those guidelines, the drawing the line in the sand needs to be done, or has to be done, in my opinion, before season starts. I think that, all those racers, like you said, if we're specifically talking about Haiden and Max and Star, they know the way Haiden races and who he is and those types of things, and it's not necessarily a bad thing on Hayden's side. But I think, like in Max's position, being a little bit smarter, should have gave more away in that turn, and retaliated with a pass before the end of the race, or tried to anyways, stuck with him and retaliated. So I mean, it's definitely an interesting scenario, right? They're all gonna go back. They all train together during the week. I don't think Haiden worries about anybody else on the team. I think a lot of the guys maybe worry about what Hayden's doing during the week and on the weekend. And I think that's where Haiden has the upper hand, is he doesn't give a damn what anybody else is doing. He's going to do him. He's going to do him. That's what's best for him. And selfishly, that's what champions. That's how champions are made. Is they're selfish.
120%, dude. You are absolutely spot on. Everybody tuned into Title 24 today. What RV is saying is, like, Haiden is, whether you like it, not, dude. You already know how he races, and it is what it is. You're not going to change it. And so you need to adjust what you do and worry about yourself. He does that great. RV, you did it great. I think that I was good at it. MC was good at it. I mean, there's been a lot of guys that just focus on themselves, right? And if you do that, things are going to be a lot better for you, in my opinion. And yeah, you nailed it perfectly.
That's right.
All right, dude. Again, Jay Ray, congratulations on the quad lock question of the week winning. I'm sure JH has already reached out to you. So we appreciate you being a loyal listener. Thanks for everybody. Sorry about RV had a little internet problems. I got sick over the weekend, still sick. So we just we're wobbling today. But some good content.
Good. I hope everybody's enjoying the behind the scenes with Anton, right? So that was a new addition. We talked about it on early in the preseason show. Anton being on the ground, boots on the ground, getting us behind the scenes, which I think is awesome. I love seeing it. So thanks to Anton there, and yeah, it's it's been a great start of the season, that's for sure. I'm excited. I got to, I think the best seat in the house is at home watching on TV, because our coverage is so good at Peacock. So, it's looking forward to Anaheim too.
You coming to Anaheim too?
I think we're heading to Mesquite, Nevada to go ride Friday and Saturday. Gage is going to go and ride out there. I need to get some rut practice in with the boy, and area qualifiers are coming soon. He's gung ho on trying to put his best foot forward and try to make it to Loretta's. So
I love it.
Don't think I'll be at Anaheim too unless something changes. We're riding, going amateur racing.
You're all in, dude. I love it. I love the dedication. You said you that Eldon popped by. Did you guys do some yoga? What'd y'all do?
Yeah, it was funny, man. It was Eldon popped by. He stays out this way, obviously, because of the KTM group. Test tracks are only about 15 minutes from my house, and hadn't seen Mate in a while, and so popped by, and I said, "Hey, man, we're going training today. Took the boys riding." I said, "You can come out and you can hold the stopwatch." And no, it was good. We had a good time. Just reminiscent of old times, current times, and it's obviously probably pretty surreal for him, obviously working with me for many years, and then gets to come out and watch my kids ride. Right. So that was pretty special. I thought that was cool. And, but yeah, it was a good time.
That's good. That's good. Good. All right. Well, hey, best of luck for Brax. For Motorsports on NBC this week, coming up, the 24th Round 3 Super Motocross World Championship, Anaheim 2, 1 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. That starts race day live. And then 7 p.m. Eastern is the gate drop. Again, that'll be live on Peacock. I think that this earlier start, I think our numbers are probably a bit better. Great to see that. Super stoked on that. Again, like you said, thanks Anton for the BTS. Hopefully all you guys are enjoying it. And we appreciate all the support from United Motorsports, Quadlock, Boxo, Dunlop, and Cardo. You guys are the best. If you want to watch this podcast on the video version, go to Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page. And then if you want to do just audio, we're on all the favorite podcast applications. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.
That's right, RC. Go get those pipes worked on. Not gonna be able to do much talking, throughout the week. Get those things ready for Saturday night.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all: news, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.